This is Daron, K1DBC. All stations, please stand by. The Denver Radio Club Learning Net starts in 5 minutes.
W0TX repeater.
Kilo Fox 0 NAT. Ben, I think I heard you in there. Do you have a question or something? Go right ahead. I heard you loud and clear, though.
Yeah, sorry. No, negative. I was just fiddling with bits of wire. I wanted to make sure I had the right wire connected so I could hear the session this evening. Over.
All right, sounds good. Not a problem. Yep, we'll talk to you here in just a few minutes. This is K1DBC. The DRC Learning Net will start in 1 minute. All stations, please stand by. Hello and welcome back to the Denver Radio Club Learning Net for October 11th, Wednesday, October 11th. Welcome back, everyone. It's a great place to learn about ham, radio, and STEM topics in general. And thankfully, we have plenty of combined experience and expertise. This is Kilo 1, Delta Bravo Charlie. My name is Daron, and I am this evening's Net Control. Last week we talked, over the last few weeks, we talked about a whole slew of topics, antennas, radio equipment purchasing, things like that. So this evening we can continue those conversations, but we'll also be taking your check-ins, comments, questions, updates, and more. We meet every Wednesday, except the third Wednesday of the month at 7:30 p.m. Mountain Time on 145.490 and 448.625. Both have a negative offset. Plenty of information over on our website, w0tx.org, and over on our officers and staff page. There's some phone numbers, email addresses, so if you want to get a hold of anybody, there's plenty of contact information on our webpage as well, and most social media at Denver Radio Club. So we do stream most of these nets and our monthly meetings on youtube.com/Denver Radio Club. So if you've missed the nets or if you'd like to check into it real time, you can check that out on your smartphone or smart TV. Again, youtube.com/Denver Radio Club. So if you'd like to see behind the scenes of the net or visual context, that is an additional way to check in and view the net. We also track check-ins online. I want to open it up for self-check-ins at some point, but right now it's just for net control operators to be able to use. But basically anybody can view it, w0tx.org/check-in. You'll see a spreadsheet of this evening's check-ins, names, call classes, and as well as last couple of years worth of check-ins as well. So this is K1 DVC Net Control. With that, this net can be broken at any time for emergency or priority traffic by using the word break. Is there any emergency or priority traffic at this time? All right, this is K1 DVC Net Control. So just as a reminder for kind of how these sessions go. We'll take check-ins. We'll come back around to anybody that had any comments or questions or wanted to update us on their projects. We'll take other check-ins throughout the net. I'll bring up some stories. It's about an hour long, so we have until 8:30 p.m. Mountain Time to discuss whatever you would like. So with that, we will start to take check-ins here. All check-ins to the net will be taken in alphabetical groups based on the first letter of the suffix of the operator's call sign. The suffix is the first letter after the number in the call sign. If you can, please try to use ITU phonetics if you can for your call sign and indicate if you have any traffic or questions as you check in. If your suffix begins with the letters A through M, Alpha through Mike, please check in now.
Whiskey 0 Alpha, Whiskey Sierra, Albert in Westminster, and no traffic.
Kilo Foxtrot 0, Juliet Whiskey X-Ray, Ben in Lakewood.
Kilo Echo 0 Alpha Bravo, Cannon Lakewood, no traffic.
W0TX, repeater.
All right, this is K1 DVC Net Control. Net Control. We'll hold up there for just a moment. All right, Net Controller would like to welcome and acknowledge the following check-ins. W0AWS Albert, KF0JWX Ben, KNKE0 Alpha Bravo Ken. Thank you all so much for checking in. Once more, if your call suffix begins with the letters A through M, Alpha through Mike, and you'd like to check into the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net just for the count, or if you have any traffic or questions, A through M, Alpha through Mike, please check in now.
November 1, Golf Uniform Mike, Peter in Littleton.
WD0CIV, WD0CIV, Charles and Denver, no traffic.
Alpha.
All right, this is Daron, K1DBC Net Control. We'll hold up there for just a moment. That time, Net Control would like to welcome and acknowledge the following check-ins. N1GUM, Peter, WD0CIV, and I think it was Alex, AF0E. I think I heard you in there. Thank you so much all for checking in here. Okay, this is Daron, K1DBC Net Control. We'll move down the alphabet. If your call suffix begins with the letters N through Z, November through Zulu, please call now with your name, your call sign, and if you have any traffic or questions, please call now.
Kilo Fox 0, November Alpha Tango. The name here is Ben, and I'm in Aurora, and no traffic.
And Kilo Echo 0, Sierra Uniform Mike, Jonathan, Lakewood.
November 0, Tango Romeo Papa, Jim in Lakewood. Good evening.
Alpha Echo 0, Romeo Kilo, November Fred Sierra, in Denver, all of no Littleton, no traffic. Good evening.
All right, this is Daron, K1DBC Net Control. I'll hold up there for just a moment. Let's see, Net Control would like to welcome and acknowledge the following check-ins. KF0NAT, Ben, KE0SUM, Jonathan, N0TRP, Jim, and then there was a double. I heard a Fred and a Paul. I think it was AE0RK, Fred, and then I think it may have been K0DPR, Paul, but I can't confirm for sure. If you had just called in there and I didn't call your call sign, go ahead and try once more.
This is Paul in Littleton, Kilo Foxtrot 0, November Papa Sierra.
All right, got you that time, KF0NPS. Got you checked in. Thank you so much for checking in. I think this might be your first time potentially checking into our net here recently, and maybe you had a call upgrade here recently or a new call sign as well. So, yeah, really do appreciate you checking in here. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. Once more, if your call suffix, again, the letter after the number in the call sign, if your call suffix begins with the letters N through Z, November through Zulu, and you'd like to check into the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net just for the count, or if you have any traffic or questions, let us know your call sign, your name, and if you have any traffic or questions, please check in now. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. We'll go ahead and open up the whole alphabet. If you'd like to check into the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net just for the count, or if you have any traffic or questions, we're taking all call signs, all call suffixes. Let us know your call sign, your name, and if you have any traffic or questions, please check in now. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. This might be a little bit of an acquired net. I certainly wouldn't mind that. But yeah, this is K1DBC Net Control. Again, there's, just as a reminder, there's always a lot of geopolitical strife. There's a lot of things going on in the world and has been for a long time. So let's always just try to keep things on topic. We're all friends from all parts of the world, and we're here just to learn about ham radio and how we can excel humanity. So I can bring up a few stories. If somebody indicated they had traffic, I missed that. I do apologize. Again, youtube.com/Denver Radio Club. I'll preview a couple of stories that I can talk about. Dumping spacecraft in the middle of nowhere. Antennas can be a total mystery. U.S. Ultimate Astronomy Road Trip and a GRCCon, GNU radio conference was held September 5th through the 9th. So there's a bunch of YouTube talks that you can check in on that. We'll talk about that here a little bit. That plus a whole lot more. So I'll throw it out to the group. Any other comments, questions, check-ins here so far for this evening's net? Please call now.
KC0UNT for a late check-in.
KC0UNT. Mike, I got you checked in. Thanks so much for checking in here. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. Let's see. I guess I'll bring this up now, and I'll bring it up later on in the net. But some club business, w0tx.org / or just on our front page, our upcoming meeting next week. So in lieu of the Learning Net here, we'll have a meeting over on Google Meet. So October the 18th, it's going to be Solar Cycle and Radio presented by Rob Steenberg, AD0UI. He's a space scientist at the National Weather Service's Space Weather Prediction Center in Boulder. He entered the space weather field over 15 years ago after serving 20 years as an Air Force meteorologist. Licensed since 1980, he enjoys CW, particularly QRP, FT8, and building and repairing equipment. So got recommended by AE0YR, I think. If you or anyone else would ever like to give us a presentation, we're always looking for people to give a 45-minute, 50-minute talk once a month. And so last month's, again, RF Snooper Probe by John W6NBC. You can check that out over on our YouTube. So check that out for next week, and I'll try to give another reminder towards the end of the net here about that.
W0TX repeater.
All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. All right, since we're in the month of October, there's a really awesome sci-fi horror short film, about 6 minutes long. I'll play at the end on our YouTube channel. I played it over the last couple of years. It was released in 2021, I believe. So really cool, pretty neat film about Suit Sat. So you can check that out at the end of the net here. But with that, I'll throw it out to the group. Anyone else at the moment? Comments, questions? We have another 45 minutes or so. We're here to talk about ham radio, STEM topics, anything you'd like to talk about. Let us know. Please call now.
TRP. KI4WIN.
All right, we had N0TRP Jim in there, and then KI4WIN. I got you checked in, and I think you might have some traffic. I'll loop back to here in just a minute. So N0TRP Jim, the net is yours. Go right ahead.
This N0TRP. A couple of weeks ago, we kicked around the idea of some of us in Hams and Lakewood here get together for lunch this next Wednesday, third Wednesday, at Carmine's there on Wadsworth in Florida. And I just wanted to check and see that we were talking with Alpha Bravo and Jonathan, SUM, and Ron, FPI. Oh, Ron, you did double with FPI there just on your one of your last transmissions. He was trying to check in there. And then, let's see. So just wondering if you guys were still up for that. I am, if you all are. And anyone else here in the Lakewood area would like to join, or that'd be great. So I just wanted to get some thoughts on that. N0 TRP, back to net.
All right. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. I heard Alpha Bravo in there, and then KF0 FPI Ron. I did get you checked in there. Sorry about the double there. So Alpha Bravo, Ken, go right ahead.
Yeah, it's a go for me next Wednesday. What time?
I'm going to say anytime after 11:30 works for me.
Jonathan seems to know the place. How busy does it get?
FBI.
All right, so this is Jerome K1DBC Net Control. That sounds like a nice meetup there. It'll be pretty cool there. FPI Ron, follow up. Go right ahead.
Yeah, what time did TRP Jim say? Anytime after what? I didn't quite catch it. Sorry. Back to net.
TRP.
TRP, go ahead.
I was thinking I'll try and get there about 11:30, but and I'll just hang out till anyone else comes by. I did look at it. I haven't been there before. I think Jonathan has. Looked like there were about, I think, 4 or 5 tables there, so just depend on, we have more than 4, we could probably get a couple tables together, just whatever works, and then if we have a big crowd, you might think of maybe another place for the next time. But anyway, Jonathan, you there? What do you think?
KE0SUM. Yeah, I actually just tuned in. I was a bit distracted. Groceries were delivered. But what was the question?
They were just wondering, I was thinking about what time. I think I'd be there at about 11:30 there at Carmine's next Wednesday. And so we meet around that time or a little later, just whatever works for everybody. And then, do they have about 4 tables there? Is that right?
I have this written down in front of me because we talked about this, a week or 2 ago. Carmine Leonardo's. Yeah, maybe 4 tables. The weather's nice. We can sit in the back of my Lexus with the hatchback open. But, yeah, it should be fun. I think 11:30 is about perfect for next Wednesday.
Okay, that sounds good. This N0 TRP. But why don't we plan on that then for any folks Lakewood area? That'd be great. So look forward to meeting you all, seeing you all there. N0 TRP, back to net.
Alpha Bravo.
All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. Alpha Bravo, go right ahead.
I'll be there at 11:30. See you guys next Wednesday.
FBI.
All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. I guess we'll have to start booking up some domino sessions or some cribbage or some gin rummy here next soon. No, this is K1DBC Net Control. FPI Ron, go right ahead.
Yeah, you guys can count me in for 11:30 on Wednesday. That place can get busy, but usually if you go that early in the middle of the week, it's usually not too bad. KFC RFPI, back to net.
All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control, just looking in that area. I'm also seeing Belmar Park might use an opportunity to do some parks on the air, or get out and check that out too. So if there's not enough space, that might be an option there. So yeah, awesome to hear that. So yeah, Wednesday 11:30 at the Carmine Leonardo's Italian in Lakewood. You can check that out if you want to do a meet in person, meet and greet, and just kind of a general hangout. All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. Yes, we have plenty of members in our club. We have 400 or 500 plus dues-paying members, and we've brought up maps in the past about ham radio operators in your area, and there's a lot of people. So if you ever wanted to do some social meetups, some social gathering, there's plenty of opportunities out there to do so. So get a hold of us either through our Discord server, w0tx.org/Discord. There's plenty of opportunities to meet up there, as well as what you kind of just heard there, kind of a nice kind of organic coordination. So this is K1 DBC Net Control. I'll throw it out to the group. Anyone else? I know KI4WN, Daniel, you had some traffic. I'll get back to you in just a minute, but I'll take check-ins. Are there any other check-ins at the moment? We're taking all call signs, all call suffixes. This is the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net. Great place to learn about ham radio STEM topics. We're taking all call signs, all call suffixes. Let us know your call sign, name, and if you have any traffic or questions, please check in now. All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control, and then we had a couple of comments here in our YouTube chat. Ben was asking about Hamfest updates. I think we talked about it during our last meeting. Definitely a great success. It's a struggle for us at the moment. We don't have a lot of people volunteering for it to help with it, but there's just the same people every year. So we're trying to reevaluate how we can make that easier on ourselves for next year. But we had a great turnout. It's one of the more successful Hamfests we have, or that in the Denver metro area. I don't have the exact numbers at the moment, but it's a great turnout in numbers, as well as help for our club as well. So I know we've talked about, in the last couple of weeks about Hamfest turnout and people's fines. We can maybe jump to that here in a minute as well. And then someone else here, I don't know the name, but it just talking about Sunday morning brunch and board card games maybe. So as a meetup idea. So let me drop here for a moment, and I'll throw it over to Daniel, KI4WIN. Give me just a minute. All right, one more call at the moment. Any other check-ins? We're taking all call signs, all call suffixes. Let us know your call sign, your name, and if you have any traffic or questions, please check in now. All right, KI4WIN. Daniel, I appreciate your patience. If you're still there, the net is yours. Go right ahead.
Yeah, hey Dorn, and hello to everybody else on the net. I didn't have any traffic. I was just checking in to say hello. One of these rare times I actually get to catch the net, so wanted to say hi, see what you guys are all up to, and I'm checking it out on Discord and YouTube. So I'm having a good old time. I got the radio and a couple of screens going on here. I heard the traffic about the lunch meeting next week. That sounds like fun. I chimed in on Discord. I'd love to see more in-person meetings that are, optional, of course, just so we can have a chance to have some FaceTime here and there. But yeah, otherwise, thanks, Dorn, as always, for running the net. Always great to have you out here, and I'll be around for a little while longer. KI4WIN.
All right, KI4WIN. This is Daron, K1 DBC Net Control. Yeah, great to hear you in there. Really do appreciate that. Yeah, this is a little bit more casual than normal, but it's always nice to have a little bit more relaxed environment once in a while. We're not talking too much tech here just yet, but we can always get into some pretty nerdy talks at some point. But yeah, awesome to hear meetups and things like that. And yep, a lot of people have stated that they would like to see a lot more in-person events, and the DRC Saturday events have been really awesome. And but we just need to do with more frequency potentially. So there is a lot in the pipeline for our club, and that we have a really good outlook on things, and hopefully we can see a lot more of you all in person at some events and things like that. So we have a lot of things coming down the pipeline and a lot of things we're working on. So yeah, really do appreciate everyone's support on all mediums and all everywhere. So yeah, I really appreciate you checking in there. And again, thanks again so much for helping out with the Tour de Cure. I know there's a lot of things going on with that this year a little bit, but things went off pretty well, it sounds like. So just learning points for next year. But yeah, really do appreciate your help and everyone's volunteer support for that and any other event. So yeah, KI4, WIN, yeah, thank you so much. All right, this is Daron, K1 DBC Net Control. I can bring up a few stories here. We have another half hour or so. If there are any other comments, questions, check-ins so far for this evening's net, please call now. All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. Another massive work in progress is our website, so we do appreciate everyone's patience with that. We're trying to get in an integration with a membership process so you can pay your dues online, and it's all kind of automatically done and not done by a person in hand by hand. So everyone's definitely appreciate everyone's patience with things on that and how things may or may not be working, but definitely bear with us, and we're still working on that. But this is Daron, K1 DBC Net Control. Again, I can bring up a few things. We have another half hour or so. Please call now. All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. I know one thing we recently talked about was a Hamfest that just occurred over the weekend, Barkfest, a Boulder Amateur Radio Club Hamfest. On October the 8th. Speaking about Hamfests, I don't know if anybody has any news they want to bring to the table here about things you've purchased or sold, or any experiences you had at that Hamfest. Let us know. All right, this is Daron, K1 DBC Net Control. Anyone else at the moment? Anything you'd like to bring up? Any other comments, questions, check-ins? Let us know. We have another half hour. Please call now.
Alpha Bravo.
Yeah, Ken, Kilo Echo Zero, Alpha Bravo. Go ahead.
I was just wondering if KF0NAT, Ben, was he the one that was asking about buying stuff at the Hamfest, and did he buy a radio at the Hamfest? If that's the same gentleman that was talking last week.
Kilo Fox 0 NAT, yeah, Ben. I'm afraid that wasn't me. I don't think I was able to check in last week. I think I popped in the week before. Possibly the other Benjamin. And I can't find the list to grab his name. Apologies.
Okay, the wrong Ben. My apologies. This is Kilo Echo Zero Alpha Bravo, back to net.
JWX comment.
Yeah, JWX, go ahead.
Yeah, I was actually able to get a really good HF radio. I got an Alinco DX70 with an SEC 1223 power supply for a very good price. And now I get to start the process of finding out what band to start on and what antenna to build. So it was a really successful BART Fest.
Kilo Fox Zero NAT. Yeah, I've had some experience with the DX70. In fact, it was the first HF radio I picked up, and yeah, fantastic bit of kit, and yeah, good quality, nice radio. I think you'll do very well with that. Over.
Yeah, if you don't mind, like, what was the band that you started on?
So I didn't. I got paused for double bleep. I think Daron will put me right. So I got it when I was in the UK, and I got my full ticket, and basically I was everywhere. The only thing I couldn't play with was 160 meters, but I had some fun with everything else, and the rest up through 6. It was great.
No, it's good to hear. I was thinking about messing around with an antenna for 10 meters. I think that's where I'm going to start.
Yeah, understood. I'm not sure if 10 meters, I don't know these things, but I think 10 meters might be coming to the end of the really active season. I'm probably wrong. But if you're looking for more sort of solid success, I'd probably go with 20. Just stick in the middle and get used to the radio and go from there. Back to you.
No, I appreciate that. That's wonderful advice. I also got a little 2-meter Radio Shack HCX 242, but the microphone cable is really ate up and frayed away, like at the beginning of the microphone and at the end of the plug where it goes into the radio. And I was wondering if anybody had any advice for like how to like fix that other than just putting, you know, some tape over it.
KI4WN.
Good question there. Yeah, WIN, go right ahead.
A couple of things for you. A couple of questions too. One of them is what do you want to do with HF? And I realize that can be a very difficult or loaded question, so answer it however you like. And two, what is your license class? And for the freight cable, there's a few different things you can do. But usually, what I do is once the plug starts to show signs of wear that are damaged, I usually just go ahead and replace the plug, with whatever it is. And there's a lot of places you can get replacement plugs or jacks, and then you just need to take the old one apart, put it all back together. And if you need some help with that, I'm happy to help. I've got a wide range of wire stripping and setting tools and all sorts of other doodads.
That's great advice. And as far as what I plan on doing with HF, I would love to get into DX and POTA.
Yeah, so when I got my general license, I got really interested in all the different things I could do on HF. And I've been traveling pretty much full-time for the last, 7 or 8 years now. So I very rarely have a chance to really set up. But I'm getting to a place now where I'm going to have that opportunity, so I've been putting a lot of thought into this. My first thought is, obviously this is limited by space, so my first goal is to simply put up a dipole, however long I can afford to have up. If I can get something long enough for 160 meters, I would love to do that. and then feed that through a tuner, and then I have the option of utilizing that on whatever band it is I want to play with. 20 and 40 are typically good year-round. 20 during the day, 40 at night. Your mileage will vary, of course, like everything else. But those are really good bands to play around on, listen on, and really get familiar with the different band sections. 10 meters is great for a lot of semi-local regional stuff, but there's something to be had on every band. For me, the next goal I would want to get into is to start playing with antennas. If I didn't have the space to do 160 meters, I would target at least a 40-meter antenna, because with a 40-meter antenna, you should be able to, and realistically without a tuner, run 40, 20, and even a little bit of 15 off of that one wire antenna. You'll have different harmonics, of course, 40 being a half wave, 20 meters being a quarter wave, and 15 being an eighth wave, but you can do a lot of interesting things with that. It just depends on, like I said, what you want to do from home, which if you want to do DX, a north-south oriented dipole will get you pretty far, and then what you want to, or what kind of space you have.
Timeout.
No, that's wonderful advice, and I appreciate the help. And basically, I live in a normal house in Lakewood, not a whole lot of property. I've got power lines in the backyard, so I've got that to consider. So I'll probably just end up throwing a wire up in the tree and pulling it out as far as I can and getting on the air. But I appreciate your time and your patience with my questions and the wonderful advice.
Oh, yeah, no worries. I'm always happy to talk ham with fellow hams. One last note, with power lines in the backyard, something that you might find beneficial is to have a vertical antenna up front. And if you're in an area where a full-out antenna would be unwanted for whatever reason, you might look into a stealth or a flagpole antenna. If you get a vertical antenna, it won't pick up the noise from the power lines nearly as well because of the polarization. But if you're operating on, say, 15, maybe 17 meters and below, most of the time your signal is going to bounce off one or more layers of the atmosphere before it gets to anybody else. And once it hits that atmosphere, the polarization has very little effect. There's still some, but very little effect on the signal strength, readability, and tone. And so you can get away with doing a lot of things with a vertical antenna on those lower bands that you might not be able to on, say, a 10 or even a 6-meter antenna if you're trying to talk to other stations with an oppositely polarized antenna. So just food for thought, but I'm around a bunch, and you can find me on the Discord Denver Radio Club group as well if you have more questions or just want to bounce some ideas around. Like I said, I'm a big fan of ham radio. I've been doing it a long time, and I always like to talk about interesting things. So otherwise, I'll leave it to it. It's KI4WI, and I'll be around for a little while longer.
No, thanks a lot. That was actually something I was considering, is just throwing up like a buddy pole in the driveway, like at night when I'm doing contacts, and then taking it in at the end of the day. So I thank you very much again. Have a good night. KF0 JWX, back to net.
All right, KF0JWX, this is K1 DBC Net Control. This is K1 DBC Net Control. Yeah, sounds like JWX. You had a pretty good haul there. I put that on the wrong line here. And a Linko DX70 SEC 1223 power supply, and the HTX 242 Radio Shack transceiver there. You have to check into it. I'll have to check into that a little bit more. So yeah, really cool stuff there. Yeah, really appreciate Daniel. Yeah, your follow up there in terms of HF operations, and yeah, 20 and 40 are the more popular ones. 20 during the day, 40 at night, as you mentioned, and inverted V dipole if you have the room and the space. Something that Larry K0LAI mentioned a couple of weeks ago, I can't remember, was a HVU8 vertical antenna, HF, where the radials are based in the on the antenna in the air and not on the ground itself. So it's supports 70 centimeters, 2 meters, and then 6 meters through 80 meters. So it's a pretty cool another option there for vertical HF operations as well. So yeah, really appreciate everyone's comments, questions here so far. Anyone else? Any other comments, questions? We have another 20 minutes or so. Please call now.
Alpha Bravo.
Yeah, KE0 Alpha Bravo. Ken, go ahead.
Yeah, like we've been discussing, 10 meters is very sporadic. And right now on 10 meters for the last 3 weeks on an Antron 99, up 20 feet to the feed point, 25 feet away from the power lines in my backyard, I have worked 10 and 12 and 15 meters with an antenna, a manual antenna and tuner, and I have worked all over the world. I have worked South America, I have worked Europe, and I have worked Japan. So right now, 10 meters is actually pretty hot, but it will die out. But the solar cycle is starting to get a little bit hotter, so it's pretty nice. And then you can get unusual calls. Let me reset. The other, let's see, on 92823 on 10 meters, the call sign is WA7E. If you'd like to look him up on QRZ, I talked to him. He was an aeronautical mobile. He was in a Boeing 737 at 38,000 feet. He was 90 miles west of Denver, and he was heading for Salt Lake. And I had a little chat with him on 10 meters, 28.350. And it was very interesting. And if you go to his QRZ page, he shows a picture of the transceiver that he uses, and it was a rather interesting little chat. But there's all kinds of stuff going on those 3 bands right now. Now, like I say, and like everybody knows, it's sporadic, but it's been really interesting and very hot for about the last month. This is Kilo Echo Zero Alpha Bravo, back to net.
Kilo Echo Zero Alpha Bravo. Ken, thank you so much for the follow-up on there. Yeah, as we've talked about, there's no binary that the bands are closed or not. Yeah, so definitely check things out. So there's still plenty of opportunities. Yeah, WA7E, it looks like pretty cool contact there. And it looks like avionics, aviation built-in equipment, so pretty cool there. 10 meter or what band you had mentioned there. So yeah, as you mentioned, 20-foot feed point, 25 feet away from a power line, it sounded like. But you've been making some pretty good contacts over 10, 12, and 15 meters. So sounds like there's still opportunities out there. So don't sleep on those bands. And if this is a hobby of experimentation. So try what you can and see what works and go from there. So this is K1 DVC Net Control. Very cool. All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. Yeah, great chat here so far. Really appreciate everyone's input on different equipment and different bands and propagation reports, things like that. Another 15 or minutes. Anyone else? Any other comments, questions, check-ins? I can bring up a couple things, but anyone else so far for this evening's Learning Net, please check in or call now.
FPI.
KF0 FPI Ron, the net is yours. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got a question for Ken. Alpha Bravo. He said he used a tuner. Was that manual or auto? That was going to be a question I kind of had for the net. For all you guys out there that do HF, if they go auto or go manual. KF0 FPI, back to net.
The tuner that I use, there are a couple old MFJ Versa tuners, and they're all manual. A lot of guys use automatic tuners. They use the tuners that are in their radio and their transceivers, and then there's electronic tuners that you can buy. But I like manual because I like to goof around and explore and see the different ways I can tune it, and I'll put my I got a little analyzer, and I'll put my analyzer on it, and I'll try to tune the best possible signal I can get out of, or the best WR I can get out of the antennas. So that's kind of how I goof around on some of the bands like that. But I use all manual tuners. This is Kilo Echo Zero Alpha Bravo, back to net.
FPI.
All right, I appreciate the response there. Yeah, as Alpha Bravo was kind of mentioning here, is some cursory Google searches. Manual tuners typically allow for more adjustment and addresses a wider range of complex impedances than automatic tuners. So manual tuners takes a little bit more time to understand it, but you could do probably a lot more with it. So yeah, very cool stuff there. FPI, Ron, go right ahead.
Yes, Alpha Bravo, when you say you hooked an analyzer up to it, was that an antenna analyzer? And did you hook it up on the line between the radio and the tuner to measure your SWR? I'm kind of new to this, Ken, as we talked a few weeks ago. KFC or FPI, back to net.
Kilo Echo Zero Alpha Bravo. What I do is from my transceiver, the cable, I take it right off the back of the transceiver and I put it on direct through the antenna tuner, and that's how I test my antennas. But when I want to goof around and, like a drone said, fool around with the impedances and all that stuff, what I'll do is I will put it on tune, and then I have an A8 230 zoom analyzer, and then what I'll do is I'll watch it and I'll tune the antennas, and I'll watch the analyzer for the SWRs and all, the whole 9 yards, and that's how I keep myself busy and experiment. I try to make those antennas resonant as best as they can, or the SWRs as best as they can. So that's what I use as an AA230 zoom. I think I don't know the name of it, rig experts or whatever it is, but this is Kilo Echo Zero Alpha Bravo, back to net.
In this video, we're going to take a quick look.
FPI.
All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. Yep, very cool stuff there. Yeah, SWR is it's like chasing the dragon a little bit. We talked about that in the past a little bit, but you know what works. But yeah, either as you mentioned, a rig expert, or people have always have been using a nano VNA, a cheaper $50 to $100 thing as well. So that's another option as well for checking SWR. This is K1 DBC Net Control. I think FPI Ron was in there once more, or Alpha Bravo. Go ahead.
Yeah, Ken at Alpha Bravo, we can dang near throw rocks at each other. I just need to stop by and have you show me that. I'm a very visual guy, and we'll hook up logistics next week at lunch. So this is KF0 FPI, back to net. I'm out.
Yeah, that sounds, this is Kilo Echo Zero Alpha Bravo. That sounds great. We'll meet next week, and we can set up some times to goof around with these antennas I have in the backyard, and maybe I'll swing over there, or we'll meet up over there, and we'll fool around with the antennas you have too. So just a matter of time. This is Kilo Echo Zero Alpha Bravo, back to net.
KE0SUM comment.
Yeah, SUM, Jonathan, go ahead.
I was listening. I'm a big fan of antennas, as you all know. And I noticed a couple of you said we can play with our antennas, plural. I think I'd like a comment for new people who are just getting into ham radio. It's like, don't get do get band specific, but don't get particular. You don't need all the bands. Say you're new, you got your general license, and you're awake during the day. Just get a really nicely tuned 20-meter antenna. Well, if you're only listening at night, do over 40 meters. Like, you really don't need everything. Now, granted, a lot of things are going to be resonant between each other, but I think get a really nice antenna that's just resonant on that band and go for it.
W0TX repeater.
All right, thanks there, KE0SUM, Jonathan. This is K1DBC Net Control. Yeah, depending on the price points and the output wattage and things like that, you may not need all the bands in one antenna or even in one transceiver. We've talked about as well as price points and cost of purchasing some equipment that is capable of doing it all. It might have diminishing qualities, but maybe check specific band antennas or transceivers, things like that. So very good follow up there. Really appreciate that. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. I do have a couple of things to follow up on. I don't know if anybody has. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago, if not months ago, in Littleton at the Dish facility. There's going to be a SpaceX rocket, SpaceX 9 rocket booster that will be installed there, displayed horizontally. I don't know if anybody has had any opportunity or knows of anything on that, but at the Little Creek Road, looks like at the Dish facility. I don't know if anybody's had an opportunity to check that out, or if you know if that's in place. Go ahead.
I'm confused, Ron. You said a horizontal rocket booster? That's kind of counterproductive.
Yeah, sorry about that. It's I skipped this a little bit here. Closure in place for Little's Creek Trail to install a 146-foot SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket booster. It will be displayed horizontally on two pylons 10 feet above the ground, straddling the Little Creek's Trail near its junction with the Mary Carter Greenway. Rocket is intended as a draw for visitors and is the third such display of a SpaceX in the country. So it's expected to be in place through October, but we are now 11 days into October. I don't know if anybody's had an opportunity to check that out or knows any more on that. Go right ahead.
Oh, thank you for clearing that up. You can understand my confusion. And actually, if it's going to take off horizontally, I think I'd go down and watch. KE0SUM, back to net.
Yeah, not an actual launch. That would be cool, but a display piece, which will be pretty cool. We have a lot of aerospace and aeronautical engineering things in the state, but we do not have a. I think we have a spaceport out east a little bit, but we do not see much action of rocket launches and things like that. So I'll try to follow up on this throughout the week here and see if I can take a trip down there. But if you're in that area, Dish facility, check it out. Okay, I have a few stories I can bring up, but any other comments, questions, check-ins? We'll take another few more minutes for comments and questions, and we'll start to wrap things up here. But anyone else, any other comments, questions, check-ins, please call now.
Hey, Daron and everybody. Did you guys see a few days ago on the news, it was in Mexico, they released photos of aliens, which kind of looked like a dried-up ET, but This brings up the whole question of the UFOs and aliens. Did you see that? I thought it was very interesting.
All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. No, I hadn't heard that, but I know that NASA recently recovered their OSIRIS-REx mission capsule, which is a, let me see here. The science team from NASA's OSIRIS-REx, the Origins, Spectral Interpretation, and Resource Identification and Security Regolith Explorer, a tongueful there, a mouthful, mission will provide results from an initial analysis of the sample, which landed on September 24th. So they found trace amounts of water and carbon in one of the oldest asteroids that they've been able to sample. So samples that go back to not too far after our Big Bang. So, you know, we are starting to, NASA and scientists are starting to understand and hopefully try to figure things out and explore our origins and maybe origins of other life out there. So, yeah, I don't know if anybody else has anything on that, but I hadn't heard anything on the other story, but anyone else, go right ahead.
I'll do a little follow-up since everyone's interested. Google, I think, is offering, if you have a Ring doorbell cam, if you can capture an alien, they'll pay you $1 million if you catch an alien on your Ring cam. The funniest thing I saw was some comedian tonight had an alien come up and look at the Ring cam and then steal the Amazon package.
Gotcha. Sounds good. Yeah, you know, there's we kind of talked about this a little bit as well. You kind of it can slide into in a sticky kind of odd scenario. But yeah, I try to stay math and science based and things like that. So you know, it's a gradual learning of baby steps and understanding our universe around us. So, yeah, this is K1 DBC Net Control. Yeah, glad to hear there's at least more interest in it and understanding that it's we don't have to be. Yeah, this is K1 DBC Net Control. I'll throw it out to the group. Anyone else on that? Go right ahead.
There's been nothing like this.
All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. We're nearing the end of the net here. As mentioned, I was going to play an outro to the YouTube video as a decommissioned a sci-fi horror show about Suit Sat. This kind of delves with a little bit of the topic we're dealing with here is kind of aliens a little bit, but Suit Sat was a real thing. You can look that up, Suit Sat. Let me drop here for a moment. I'll be playing a 5 or so 6 minute video here. It's a sci-fi horror show, a short film, but based on a real mission. SuitSat was a retired Russian spacesuit with a radio transmitter mounted on its helmet, used as a hand-launched satellite. First devised around 2004, it was deployed in an ephemeral orbit around the Earth from the International Space Station on February 3rd, 2006. Let's see. Idea came from an Oscar satellite, which was formed by AMSAT. Let me drop here for a moment. Let's see. The signal began transmission approximately 15 minutes after it was jettisoned and was relayed by equipment on board the ISS. Anyone receiving the transmission could log an entry on the tracker at suitsat.org. So this was a real mission, but this kind of delves into the sci-fi aspect of it. So a pretty cool ham radio-based thing I'll be playing as after the video here. So with that, I'll throw it out to the group. Any other comments, questions, check-ins, please call now. let's see, I feel it's worth mentioning a couple of stories here over on hackaday.com. Dumping spacecraft in the middle of nowhere, October 11th, written by Richard Baguli. BBC has an interesting article on Point Nemo, aka the oceanic pole of inaccessibility, aka the spacecraft graveyard. This is the place where, in the ocean that is furthest from land, in the middle of the usually stormy South Pacific. Let's see. So there's satellites have to be deorbited. So this is a pretty cool article on where they go to die. So pretty cool here.
W0TX repeater.
Let's see. The GNU radio conference. I'm going to see if I can bring up some of their videos here. These are very heady talks. So this delves into the kind of the software and really hardware of software-defined radio and understanding things like that. So, but there was a pretty cool capture the flag here. Was a pretty cool integration of signal intelligence testing and penetration testing and a mixture of RF and networking and things like that. So using a combination of RF and computers and whatnot to basically capture a flag. So pretty cool thing there. So yeah, that's all that I had. We can bring up more things next week, but this will be the second to last call. Any other last minute check-ins, comments, questions, please call now. Okay, this is Daron, K1DBC Net Control. I think I might start to end the net here. I've been up for quite a while today and didn't get great sleep last night. But with that, I'll throw it out. This is the last call. Any last minute comments, questions, check-ins, please call now. All right, this is Daron, K1DBC Net Control. Again, w0tx.org for more information on our club. Next week is our meeting online. It will be on the topic of radio. Oh, it's not going to come up here. Give me a second here. Excuse me. Rob Steenberg, AD0UI, Solar Cycle and Radio. So check that out on our website, w0tx.org. Let me see here. 6 p.m. for an Elmers session. So if you've enjoyed this meeting here, just a Q&A, it'll be similar to that. And then 7 o'clock for the meeting itself. w0tx.org, licensed or not, member or not, everyone is welcome. Again, youtube.com/Denver Radio Club and everything on social media and everything like that. So with that, this is K1DBC Net Control. Appreciate everyone checking in here. We appreciate the club for allowing us to use their repeaters. We had a total of 15 check-ins. So again, we appreciate everyone who's helped in as a net control operator. And if you ever want to help out, let us know. With that, this is K1DBC 73, and I am clear. All right, not to belabor this too much more here. So this is K1DBC Net Control. As mentioned, decommissioned. You can go ahead and watch this on your own or here. The pretty cool watch here.
And SuitSat is deployed. Although haunting, evoking the image of a stranded astronaut floating away from their spacecraft, SuitSat is on its way, heading into the Earth's orbit. Filled with ham radio equipment, it's ready to transmit pre-recorded messages from school students and enthusiasts around the world. Houston reports a good deploy to ensure no recontact with the International Space Station. SuitSat's orbit will decay in a few weeks, where it will then enter the Earth's atmosphere and burn up.
This is to Houston. This is Commander Diaz. Do we have any debris close to our trajectory?
Evening, Commander. Negative on that. Clear sailing as far as we can see down here. If there was any cause for alarm, you'd know we'd see it too. Your crew members can keep sleeping tight.
Well, I'm seeing something out there. I can't make it out, but whatever it is, it's getting closer.
Tell you, Commander. We're not getting...
Houston, repeat again. It can't be.
Diaz, copy. Commander Diaz, do you copy?
Houston, you're not gonna believe this. I'm picking up transmissions on the ham radio that sound identical to the Suitsat experiment. And that debris, it's an Orlan spacesuit.
I'm not sure I'm hearing you right. Repeat that, Commander?
Suitsat. I'm saying Suitsat.
You're mistaken, Diaz. Suitsat re-entered the atmosphere and burned up years ago. It's impossible.
Yeah, I know it's impossible,
But I know what I'm saying. It's Suitsat. It's come back. And it's not just in orbit. It's headed right for the ISS. Commander, you're not making any sense. Say that again? Commander. Man, you need to try and...
Up here, the sky is black. Up here, the sky is black. Up here, the sky is black.
I need to alert the crew.
Diaz. 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 Commander Diaz, do you copy? Diaz.
All right, check that out. Decommissioned film. Really cool stuff here. Y'all have a good one.